ship. I am with 386 SX machine.
Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of PC Voyage. I'm Diana McLean.
And I'm Rainey Laviolette.
And today we have our producer, Keith Davis, with us. And what are you going to talk about tonight,
Back
Keith?
again.
Oh, back again.
More Prodigy tonight.
Of course.
We did this earlier in the season, and of course 2 weeks after we did it, they changed everything. So
They do that so regularly anyway.
yeah, you can't really keep up with it.
Well, it's supposed to be good when they make changes, right?
Yeah, they've got the Windows version out now, which of course I don't have Windows on this machine. I'm not the only one that doesn't have Windows, I hope. But
No, there's a couple left.
there's a couple left in the world, yeah. But and that's a good demonstration too, because you can bring in photographs, and they have sound that you can bring in too. And all the major services will eventually come around to that sort of thing. Some actually already do that. And but we'll log on right here, so it can be logging on while we're talking. And Prodigy is like all the other services are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and also keep one step ahead of the information superhighway thing, because nobody knows exactly where that's all going, and they don't know what you're going to be seeing on your TV at your house in a few years, if it's going to be one of these online services or a mix of different services or whatever. So it's hard to tell where it's going, but everybody's plugging away at it. So. And we're going to try to log on here at 9600 bits, which is higher speed for Prodigy. And
I noticed that they don't even have that number listed.
locally, it's not a listed number yet, as the last time we looked. Whether it's on there now,
No, it's
we're
not.
not
I was
sure.
on there this afternoon.
Yeah. And
Why are they keeping it such a secret? What's the security reasons for it?
I don't know. Maybe they're beta testing everything around here. Who knows? But. And of course, with all the graphical stuff, it really needs the higher speeds. But also with the services having parts of the service where you charge by the hour, then it's important to do things as quickly as possible. And you can download files and programs off of these services, so you don't want to be on them too long if you're paying by the minute for them. Anyway, what Prodigy did was rearrange all their screens. This is their main opening screen. And you can actually go to any of these main parts here, the news and the weather, and as you page down through these, there's business and finance, and there's like a dozen different main sections that you can have your computer open to as it signs on. So it doesn't have to be the opening screen. If you're a sports freak or something, you can go right into the sporting news and all that. And they've color-coded everything here, too, which is nice. When you're in one of the sections, and you can tell just by the color. And each section has, of course, its own group of menus over on the side here, and as you go down through them. So it further breaks it down, and this is the reference section, and they have an online encyclopedia. And of course, this is, let's put it this way, at this point, is sort of a low-end encyclopedia compared to the stuff you can get on CD-ROM and some of the other stuff for your computers. We were looking at Encarta.
Yes.
Back then, which has the graphics, the video, the sound, and everything.
But Prodigy doesn't have that?
Well, what they have is strictly text right now. Let's put in a subject here.
Let's spell it right.
Let's spell it right. First, yeah. Let's. I just know there's probably some big article in here on Abe Lincoln or something. So, this is the Academic American Encyclopedia, which we looked at the last time, and I have a feeling that eventually they will send in, with the Windows versions out and everything, they will have pictures that you can bring in and sound and all that. So you can see here there's quite a few sections to this article here. And you can download all this and print it out and everything. And it's got all great information. Right now, like I say, it's kind of low end compared to what's out because it's just text. So, but that I'm sure will improve on all the services. Let's go back to the opening screen here. Other improvements they've made, of course, with the Windows version, they send in photographs. So they have a whole news section, and it's the same type of photo you would get in a newspaper. You open a newspaper, and there's a photo there, the caption underneath it, and that's what they have for photos. And they'll also have sound coming in with that stuff.
Yeah, I loaded up the Windows version this afternoon, and I noticed that the opening screens are exactly identical in both versions.
Yeah, the only thing difference is you have the top
Windows
bar,
title bar.
the Windows title bar up there. A couple of things we didn't get into last time was membership fees and that sort of thing. Again, this is something that's constantly changing. They come out with deals and term deals and that sort of thing, but and they have some of the service is free, some of it is part of your basic. They call it the core features, and then some is plus features. And right now they have a $14.95 a month. Which is unlimited core usage and 2 hours of plus usage. Plus is bulletin boards and some other things like stocks and company news during the day. All other stuff is part of the core things, and it's unlimited. Once you get over that time, it's $3.60 an hour, which is fairly nominal for being on there. So if you're heavy into bulletin boards and you want to spend 4 or 5 hours, you'll have a few hours at $3.60 an hour. Extra.
Plus your phone bill, if it's a long distance?
If it's a long distance, it would be plus your phone bill. But, of course, again, with all these services, they want to get people where the phone bill is not a toll call. And they want to put stuff up. And then they have messages. You can send out 30 email messages a month. Once you get past 30, it's 25 cents a message. And they have term fees also. If you were a member before a certain time, I think it was in March, and you had a one-year term membership, they have a term discount that you can get too. And they have that periodically, and that's to, of course, attract people into the service here. Bulletin boards, again, they refurbished all the bulletin board stuff. There's probably about 60 bulletin boards, and you can go to them. Every topic and every subject you ever wanted was on these bulletin boards here. And that's an important part of these services because it's an exchange of information.
Do they have files that you can download inside of each one of the boards?
No, the files, we'll go to that in a second. There's programs that you can download you have to pay for. There's nothing on here as far as files or programs that are free, I believe, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But let's go into one of the bulletin boards while we're here. And they take each of the bulletin boards. They're very similar in the way they work. A few years ago, each bulletin board was different according to whoever was running the board. Now they have a uniform look to it, which is good. And you can go in, and the first thing it asks for in a board is a date, and it puts a date the last time you were on. But if you're new to a board, you might want to put an older date on, so you'll see more information, because once you've seen information, it doesn't come back up. All you see is new information every time you sign on. So they have a few topics, and this is the America Online bulletin board, and you can pick a topic and then go into subjects. And
why would they have a board for a competing service?
Well, they used to promote America Online. They kind of got detached from it, but everything is merging together somehow, you know. So here's a subject here, and let's just take a look in one of these and see what they have for some notes. We might get lucky and find a message and some replies. Here's a message here, and you can read this message. What we're seeing here is the first line of the message, and over here it says there's 11 replies to the message. And the nice thing now, of course, is you can download all the stuff. Instead of reading it online here, you can download it. So if we go into the replies here, if we take a look at the replies, it says there's 11 replies, but you may not see all of the replies because you only see the ones that were current from the last time you signed on. And this is note 1 of 2, 11 replies, reply preview. That's the note, and now we can preview the replies to the note. And again, if you're trying to get information, what you do is you the idea is you put a question up there and you get replies, and other people can see your questions and other people's replies and thereby learn stuff. So we can see there's a whole bunch of replies here. So if you don't want to sit and read every one of these replies, we can just download everything here. And it will take a note and its associated replies, send it to a text file. I may already have a file. If you already have a file by this name, it'll say to add the information or overwrite it. Let's say to overwrite it. And it'll begin to download. It comes over very fast, gives you an option to stay online after you download or to disconnect. Because a lot of people sign onto boards, they're very interested in particular topics. They go in and they get the information and they sign right off, so you can download. So it's taking 12 notes here, 12, 2 notes and the associated replies, and it's downloaded them into the computer. So then we can look at them afterwards. So all the boards are like that now. And there's, like I say, 50 or 60 boards. Each board may be broken down into anywhere from 20 to 100 subjects, and each subject may have 1 to 50 notes in it. And each note may have 1 million replies. So
You can't tell it, though, to go into all the bulletin boards and download all the messages.
the only way you can do that is, well, of course, it would fill the hard drive up if you did that. But if you went into each of the bulletin boards and read everything, the next time you signed on, the only thing that you would see would be the current stuff. This is a nice little thing I found the other day. Was a thing called Punchline. As part of the core thing, there's no extra, it's not a plus feature. There is a comedy bulletin board. But you got jokes about everything you ever wanted here. Is really neat. And they ask people to
So they have
send
like
their jokes
computer
in.
jokes on there?
Oh, they'll have every kind. They'll have, let's see what they got. Computer jokes here. And they've page after page of computer jokes. So, programmers never die, they just log off, blah, blah, blah.
Programmers
some
are a
of
bit smarter.
Yeah, some of them are pretty
Remember that.
lame, that's for sure. But
Yeah, I
they even
program.
have a,
My computer is never sick. It practices safe hacks.
and it just goes on and on. Everybody uploads jokes and they stick them in a category and they're there for the reading. And they don't seem to censor a whole lot of stuff too, especially if you go into the lawyer jokes. They put them all in there. So I thought that was kind of neat. Anytime you need a joke, there it is. ZipNet is, again, ZipNet is one of these things they gateway out to. It's not necessarily, I'm not sure if it's part of Prodigy, because I believe you can get into ZipNet from other
You
services.
can get into there from at least CompuServe.
Right. This is ZipNet for Prodigy, so it's probably in there. But this way you can get software. It's mostly shareware and public domain stuff.
And also, it's a lot of stuff
And-
you'd find in like PC Magazine, a lot
Right.
of the software that they put in the
Right. And what's nice here is you can search by category. So I just did I just downloaded some software for someone the other day.
They're getting too close.
The you must be talking about what?
The airplane's
Airplanes
flying
flying over, yes. Well, being at the end of the runway, that happens. So here's some main topics here. So if we go into professional, and it pulls down another submenu, business, and real estate. So you want some programs on real estate. Now it's going to show a bunch of real estate programs. And it'll tell you the cost of them, and most of them are $3. Here's one that's $6. Property Master, it's called. This is if you have rental property and you want to keep track of all your units. And it has a brief description about it. They rate it 4 stars. I'm sure they're not going to rate anything less than 3 or 4 stars on here. They wouldn't have it on there.
Gee, look at this. It only has 1 star on it. Let's never download it.
Right. And they have a few pages of description about the software. It says it's D-base compatible and that sort of thing. And then you can tell it to go ahead and download. That's typical how that works.
So
You
can, we
don't
go,
have-
can we go ahead and download this and try it?
I already did that today, as a matter of fact. So now the latest little gadget they came out with, and again, this has to do with this this info superhighway thing. It is making things on your computer, in your house, getting information that you would normally get from somewhere else. And if you have the Windows version of Prodigy, they have a thing called Journalist where you can create your own newspaper. It's kind of nice. All it does is it takes all the stuff that's already on Prodigy and lets you assemble it together into your own format in your own newspaper. And so every time you log on, if you want the regular news and the sports news and the people news, that'll be in your newspaper. And the weather and your stocks or whatever will be in there. And again, it's nothing that's not already on the service. It just puts it together in a form that everybody's familiar with. And,
The Daily Davis. You can
there
even
you
name
go.
it.
It's
huh?
named after yourself, yeah. And of course, with the Windows version, when you go into a news article, it'll have pictures that go along with the news articles. So the whole idea is to have an electronic online newspaper.
Now, how specialized can you be? Can you have it like put on the front page all the negative news about Clinton, or does it have to be?
That would be
generic?
nice, yeah. You could put the Michael Jackson news and everything else that you want. And we're all tired of all the Tanya news, that's for sure. So that's a
Or
nice
you
little
could do
feature.
real news.
Real news,
Real
yeah.
news.
Yeah. Well, all it would
Get
do
rid of
is
all
it
the
would just
fluff.
bring up,
Get rid of all that junk
you know, like
that
this
nobody
is
wants to hear.
Mhm.
that's right. This is their
Wrong show to get into
standard
that.
news screen here. There's your Clinton article right on top there. And so this is their standard news screen. And if there's a little extra stuff, they have a little sub-menu. And each of the articles also tends to have related articles in it too. If you go into one of these articles, here's one, terrorism in the U.S., it'll bring up an article, and if there's, well, this one doesn't have anything related to it. And if there's a photo, if you have the Windows thing, there's a photo, it'll tell you that. Let's see if we can find one more here that has a related story. This has related stories up here, and that means that there's more articles than you can see on the board, and they'll have 1 to 5 or 10 more articles on there. Or something that's related, you can jump out to the encyclopedia or something.
Pretty soon it's going to
So-
get cheaper to send mail through the computer than with the
Oh.
stamps.
Well, really, it is already. If you
Oh.
consider that, if you consider your membership, if you sent out the 30 messages you get a month at 30 cents a letter, that's almost the cost of your online service subscription. And it's kind of hard to send that many out, but there's actually been months I've gone over the 30. And of course, if all your friends have it, and
Be careful how you say that. MCI will be calling you one of your friends and family list.
yeah, well, we don't want that, no. And of course, you can gateway out now with the Mail Manager. You can gateway out to all the other major services to CompuServe. Rainey and I did a little trial thing one day where we sent a couple messages back and forth through internet using these big long addresses and everything.
And you end
And,
up with about 6 inches of garbage at the beginning
yeah.
of this thing with all the routing information.
They seem to want to tell you all the where it came from, the whole path, and you might
This
have a
passed through
one-line
San
note.
Diego on its way to Bermuda,
Yeah.
on its way back to...
So this is the stock thing they did. They've enhanced it a little bit. You can have tracks, quote tracks they call them, where you can have 15 or 20 stocks on one track, 15 or 20 on another. And wherever you go in the country, wherever you log on to Prodigy, your stocks will come up on the screen. And they've added a new feature where you can, in any given computer, which is kind of nice, you can create tracks that are local to your computer. So I did a sample one here called qtrack03.trk. You can call it anything you want. And you put the stock symbols in there, and it will go out and get all this information for that. And that's local to this computer here. And of course, if you want to read the company news, you can go in and see that too. And company news and the stocks, those are the things that during the day, they're plus features where you would pay extra if you were over your 2 hours, but after 5 o'clock, it's free, because during the day, it's very timely stuff. It's sort of up-to-the-minute information. And you can click on and go out to company news. And then you can download. Again, you can download all this stuff here. There's probably several stories about IBM on here. There's probably a whole bunch of them, and you can click on download and send it into your computer like we did with the other thing there. So, and you can get this story, all stories, and have
Now,
it
can you
come in.
also pass the stock data to other pieces of software like Quicken or anything? Or?
Yeah, see, when you download it, you can tell it which format to bring it in, as ASCII, as Lotus, which will work in Lotus or Quattro, or under Quicken format. And then you can either create new files every time you download, or you can keep appending to the same file that you have. So let's see what this is. We'll just download this one story here, and it downloading complete.
Not that long.
Like it comes over instantly. So, and I just put some of the more interesting things up on the pull down menu here. This is really the path list.
So
but
this,
it works
is,
very
this,
good
this
as
is
a
something that's
pull-down
custom
menu.
for you.
This thing here, this is the path list, and you can have 20 items on here of things that you go to quite often. And you can delete things when you get tired of one thing and you want to put another thing on there. You can just delete one and add a new one up to it. Might want to get rid of membership fees here, and that'll make room for a 20th one if we want to add another one to it. And I kind of like that because it is like it operates as a pull-down menu for us here too. Other things I'm sure they're going to improve upon. The weather map still is the same little weather map with a little sun and the things on it, but you know.
Not 3D yet.
Not 3D yet, yeah. And it's about as inaccurate as all the other people that have been trying to predict this winter's weather too.
Now, do they do a lot of interactive things on here? Like, I know on CompuServe, you can get involved in like a fantasy baseball team.
They do have some. They're plus features that you would pay extra for, or they're ones that you pay. They have ones you pay annual subscriptions to. You have to pay for them. They may be $10 a month too, but that's for. They have the baseball manager thing where you create your own team and play against other people. And it's sort of an expensive proposition to me, but if you're really into doing that in the interactive stuff, you can do that. I don't know exactly how interactive it is as far as being online with other people. I don't believe, I can't say this for sure because I haven't been in there, I don't believe it's quite as interactive as CompuServe is, where you can see other people online and immediately interface with them.
Well, one of the things that's neat. One of the things that's neat with CompuServe is that if you see, like say you find a friend of yours who's visiting the same forum that you're in, you can actually go in and say, hey, let's go into a conference room where we can sit and chat.
Off to the side.
Off to the side.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And CompuServe is a very good informational thing for files, bulletin boards, information, interactive stuff too. That seems to be their strong point, you know. And so how are we doing on time?
Well, we've got about a minute left, so if there's something else you want to go into, or we can take a break right now. And
well, let's take a break, and then we can wind it up.
We'll
with
wrap
a
this
couple
thing
other
up.
things.
All right, so we'll do that. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll wind this up.
Watch for PC Voyage weekly on your local community access channel.
Hi, welcome back.
Hey, what kind of a break did we just have?
Oh, it was probably the address, I would guess.
Oh, okay.
And be sure to write your letters. Keep those cards and letters coming in. We will have a big software giveaway, by the way. Is it that funny? Diana's laughing here.
I always laugh.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the show. I got to get in my few minutes of laughter before the end is
Oh,
over.
that's right.
Yes.
We won't even have
That's a
to edit
requirement.
that
That's
out.
in my contract.
Oh, that's right.
Wait a minute, you got a contract?
You don't have one?
No.
You don't have one?
No.
No.
We all do.
Oh.
You probably get paid too, right?
And we do have a lot of software to give away, which we will in a few more shows to go. We've got quite a pile of software, maybe have more than one winner too.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Are we getting
Better
lots of
write
letters?
those
Yes, we
letters.
are getting a lot of letters this year. Our PC Voyage hit list is a big hit.
That's because of the new addition to the show.
Well, that could be too. Your coffee cup was not on
We
the
had-
show
we had a
last
couple-
year.
we had the cups this year. The desk is kind of new from last year.
That's right. Oh, and Diana
and,
is too. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So here's on the screen here is an article today about Microsoft and TCI, and of course Bill Gates is getting together to make his next $10 billion with TCI, one of the biggest cable operators in the country, and Microsoft wants to be one of the biggest software suppliers for this new information superhighway.
Gates isn't satisfied with his billions.
No. His $5 billion he made so far is going to be a drop in the bucket compared to what's going to happen. But we'll all have computers in our house tied in some way, one way or another, with our TV systems. And there's debates going on. This is early 1994. In another year, things will be a little more clear as to exactly what we're going to get into our homes. Which services will be available. All the major online services are negotiating and dealing with the cable companies right this very minute.
Isn't Al Gore also doing some work on that superhighway?
Well, he's the
to
one
get
that
it
sort of
pushed?
started promoting this and making it, just like Hillary started doing
Oh,
the
come on,
health,
come on, come on.
health plan.
We
So,
gotta go now. We gotta go now. Come on, come on. Enough of this
They
disgusting
just
talk.
keep taking care of all those different tasks, don't
that's
they?
right.
Well, we won't talk about them anymore. Thank you.
Who knows what it'll be, but it'll be very interesting, and it's coming a lot quicker than we think, too.
Well, I guess that's going to about wrap it up. Thank you, Keith, for coming in and discussing Prodigy again.
Nothing like cutting us off, Rainey.
Well, you guys are discussing nothing important.
Nothing important.
Nothing important.
Well, we're in a new wave of the future. That's what we're talking about. And it's going to be quite exciting.
That part is true. Just leave the personalities out of it. And on that note,
Like my co-host.
wait a minute.
We'll see you next time on another PC Voyage.
Very good.